So the Azure Databricks, basically the Azure Databricks. So what is Azure? Azure is nothing but it is the cloud service provided by the Microsoft. Azure is nothing but it is the that is nothing but Microsoft is marketing their cloud services with a name called what is that Azure. Whereas Databricks is nothing but the Databricks is provided in Azure. The Databricks is provided in Azure. So where is when it comes to the Databricks, the only when we talk about the Databricks provides the yes guys, Databricks provides the Spark cluster. What does it provide? It provides the Spark cluster, which is used to process the data. Okay, 100 times, that is 100x faster than the normal. Okay, the Spark plus cluster provides. Okay, that is nothing but the Spark cluster is used to process the millions and trillions of records very faster than the normal. Okay, so hence this Databricks is used into the Azure. So we call it as what for the data processing. Okay, hence we call it as what data, that is Azure Databricks. That means that Databricks can also be used with some other cloud providers. What are the other cloud providers? It can also be used with the GCP, that is called as a Google Cloud Platform. So we can say Databricks with the GCP. So we can say GCP Databricks. And the Databricks can also be used with the AWS Databricks. That means what? We can also use the Databricks for Amazon Web Services. So, but here, guys, we are using the Databricks for what? Azure. Databricks for what? Azure. So, hence, this Databricks, we are using it for the Azure, guys. This Databricks, we are using it for what? Azure. So, which is used to process the data 100 times faster than the normal processing. Okay, whereas we are using the Azure Databricks, what are the tasks we can perform it? We can perform the following task here. What is the first one? The first one we call it as the data migration. Then we call it as what? Data integration. And also we can process the data summarization. Okay, guys. So these are all the things we can do it by using the Azure Databricks. What is that? Migration, data migration, data integration, and as well as the data summarization. So these are all the jobs we can perform it by using the Azure Databricks. Okay, guys, everyone. By using the Azure Databricks, we can perform this all tasks. So now let us try to understand what are all these. First of all, what is a data migration job? What is the data integration job? And then what is a data summarization? So let's try to understand all of them now. Okay. So when we talk about the, first of all, when we talk about the, guys, everyone, when we talk about the, when we talk about the data migration, first of all, what is a data migration? How does it works? So guys, all of us must be knowing the data migration is nothing but it is a process where the data is moved from, that is nothing but it is a process where the data is moved from, okay, the data is moved from on-premises environment, on-premises environment to cloud environment. Okay, it is a process where the data is moved from the on-premises environment to the cloud environment. It is a process where the data is moved from the on-premises environment to the cloud environment. It is a process where the data is moved from the on-premises environment to the cloud environment. So, for example, guys, I can take it here. We store the data into the mobile phone. Every mobile phone has some memory. So you can say 100 GB is the storage capacity of your mobile phone. Okay. Now, guys, the processing speed of your mobile phone is 8 GB. Now, suppose suddenly you got some 500 GB need to be stored here. Suddenly you got some 500 GB which you need to be stored here. Okay, everyone. Suddenly you require what's that? 500 GB of the data to be stored here. Okay. For suddenly you require what's that? 500 GB data to be stored in your mobile phone. Now tell me, is it possible to store that 500 GB in your mobile phone where the data capacity of your mobile phone is 100 GB, guys? Is it possible to store? Please tell me, everyone. Hello? Yes, guys, I want the session to be a bit interactive rather than me interacting or telling it aside. Okay, please, everyone. My question is that the mobile phone capacity is 100 GB, where you require to store 500 GB in your mobile phone. So, is it possible to store, guys? No. So, for addition data adding, what is that we use it? We require to add an SD card here. But let us say the SD card capacity is 32 GB, not beyond that. Let us say. Now, what is the total capacity you have it? Or let us say the SD card is 100 again. So what is the total capacity? Now you have got 200 GB. That means you can store up to 200 GB in your mobile phone. But still, the requirement is not being matched here. We require to store the 500 GB data into the mobile phone. Is it possible? No. So again, changing the handset or buying a new handset. So spending the cost behind that. So to avoid spending the cost behind it, what we do, guys? Simply we use, guys, everyone. Simply we use the Google Drive. Simply we use the Google Drive. Am I right? But you must be getting a doubt. The Google Drive has the default capacity of what is that? 15 GB only. Okay, am I right? So, but this 15 GB is what? The 15 GB is free, guys. Whereas if you want to store 500 GB, we require to buy the cost. That means we require to buy the storage. We require to buy the storage. So when we buy the storage, we can buy in gigabytes, terabytes, petabytes, whatever you want, you can buy it by paying the cost. Okay. So we can store the data into the Google Drive as much as data you wanted. As much as data you want, you can store it into the, yes, guys, as much as data you want, you can store it into the Google Drive. Am I right? So whereas here, can you see, when it comes to this, okay, if you store the data into the Google Drive and you did not carry your mobile phone, now tell me, the data stored into your Google Drive, can you access it from some other location? Guys, can you access it from some other location? Like you have not carried the mobile phone with you. Can you access this data from some other location, guys? Please tell me. In fact, we can access it from any location. It doesn't matter. You don't require to have a physical device with you. Am I right? So whereas, so the reason why we go for the data migration is that first one is accessing of the data. The data can be accessed from any location of the world without having the or without depending on the physical device. And the second reason is what? The security reason. Okay. So if you store the data into the mobile phone, the security of a mobile phone is your responsibility. Am I right? Whereas if you store the data into the Google Drive, who will take care about the security of your data, guys? Who will be taking care about the security of your data? Everyone? By the Google. That is not your responsibility to store the data, security of your data. Second reason. And the third reason is what? Unlimited storage. If you want later on, if your data is being expanded to terabytes, even that, in that situation also, you can store the data into the Google Drive simply by buying the more space into the Google Drive. So whereas, can you see here, these are the three reasons why we store the data or why we store the data into a Google Drive, or why we store the data into the Google Drive, or why we move the data into the Google Drive from your local device. So whenever you move the data from your mobile phone memory to the Google Drive memory, guys, everyone, this process is called as a process of what, guys, everyone? This process is called as a process of what? Data migration. This process is called as what? Data migration. This process is called as what? Data migration, guys. Everyone. This process is called as what? Data migration. This process is called as what? Data migration. So migration, data migration is nothing but it is a process where we move the data from your local device to the cloud memory. Wherein, can you see here, the mobile phone here is referred as on premises. Whereas the Google Drive is called as your cloud. So whereas again you see here, whenever we move the data from the mobile phone to what is that, guys? Whenever we move the data from the mobile phone to what is that, guys? Cloud memory. This is called as the process of what, guys? Everyone, this is called as the process of what? Data migration. This is called as the process of what, guys? Everyone, data migration. This is called as a process of what? Data migration. So everyone is clear with what is data migration, guys? Please respond. Hello. Yes, guys, I'm not able to understand what you mean to tell. Please, everyone. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Okay. The next one, what said you have it? The next one you have it as what? Data integration process. So, guys, for the process of data integration and the data summarization, I will take some example here. Guys, everyone. So now, can you see here? You have got the data here. So let us say all of them. One data is on the desktop. Some CSV files are there. Or let us say some 100 CSV files are there. And one data is in some database called Oracle. Okay. This data is, let us say, you can say here, this data is, let us say, some 800 GB data is there. Okay. Likewise, you have on the REST APIs. REST APIs in one websites, you can say overall. You have some 700 GBs here. So, guys, the data is in how many platforms you have it? Various 3 different platforms. Now, the user require this data actually. The user require this data. So getting this data from all these places and storing it into the cloud. Getting this data from all these places and storing the data into the cloud memory. Cloud memory. Okay, storing it into the one place called cloud memory. That is nothing but as we are dealing with the Azure, we can say, guys, Azure Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB is the Azure storages, guys. It comes under the Azure storages. If you store the data into the Azure storage called Azure Cosmos DB, so we are getting the data from all this desktop, database, and REST API and storing at a place here called what? Azure Cosmos DB. So this is called as the process of what? Data integration. That means under one platform, you're storing under one storage, you're storing this whole data, guys. Okay, which is accessed from various locations, which is accessed from what is that? Various locations, which is accessed from various locations under one platform. So now under the Cosmos DB, you will have what? The data stored in the CSV file is also there. The data from the Oracle database. That means you can say all the tables are there. And here also you can say some, okay, XML files are there. Can you see it? All this is brought under one roof. So whereas why? For facilitating of the consumer. So hence this is called as what is it, guys? The process of data integration. Okay. Wherein you have the data summarization. What is data summarization? Now, whatever the data you have accessed here, let us say this data is related to the sales of a supermarket. Let us say your product ID is there, then product rate is there, then product quantity sold is there, and then you have the date of sales. These three things, or these are the things you have it. Let us say you can say something like this: product ID and product rate is, let us say, 200, and the product quantity sold is 10. And here you can say, guys, everyone, here you can say what's that? The date of sales is, let us say, the date of sales is today's date. What's the today's date? You have it 18th of September 2024. And then you can say, guys, 320 is the rate, 20 is the quantity sold. It is on 18th 09 2024. Again, you can say something like this: 410, and here you can say, guys, 18th of September 2024. Now this is the data you have it, everyone. Okay. Now, guys, here actually we require to actually here we require to actually here we require to okay actually here we require to get the net to sales amount. What is that? Net to sales amount. I want to extract the net to sales amount. Here we require to extract the net to sales amount, guys. So when you require to access the net to sales amount, whenever you require to access the or get the net sales amount, let us see how does we work in using the data summarization process. Okay. So first of all, guys, what is it we require? The data summarization process is nothing but here we perform this following task. What's it? That is called as what? Extraction of data. Then, guys, transformation of data. Then loading of data. These are the tasks we perform it here. What is it? These are the three different tasks we have it: extraction of data, then transformation of data, and then the loading of the data. So here, guys, tell me now, what's the first thing you require to do? Extraction of the data. Now, to find out the net sales amount, what are the columns you require? So, guys, product ID is needed? No, because you don't want to extract the product wise net sales amount. You want overall net sales amount. So I can take three columns here. So I can say, guys, in the extraction process, I took three columns here. What is that? Product rate, product quantity sold, and date of sales. Okay. So this is called as a extraction process. Then after the extraction, here you have the process called what? Transformation. So how does the transformation works? Let's try to see this. Everyone, the transformation of data. So in this process of transformation of data, we require to, guys, in this process of transformation of the data, we require to get the things. How to make out the things? Let's try to see this, guys. First of all, in the process of transformation of the data, everyone, first of all, in the process of transformation of the data, how do we move? So first of all, the extraction is done now. I'll do the direct calculations here. Now, when the product rate is 200 and the quad sold is 10, that means I will do the calculations here. 200 into 10 means what, guys? Everyone, directly I'll write the values. 2000. 300 into 20 means what's the value you'll get it here? Everyone, 300 into 20 means what? 6000. Then 400 into 10 means what, guys? 4000. Am I right? So this is nothing but the calculations. I'll make it here. I have made the calculations. Now, finally, guys, the final layer of data, that is called as loading of the data. How the loading of the data takes place, let's try to see here. I'm writing it: net sales amount and date of sales. So what's the net sales amount? I can say, guys, 2000 plus 6000, 8000. 8000 plus 4000 is 12,000. So I can say directly 12,000. I can say here, guys, 18th 09/2024. Okay, 18/09/2024. Okay, guys. So now can you see here, we have extracted the net sales amount. So this is called as the final layer of the data, where the final layer of the data is extracted into the same. So this process is called as what? The process of what? Data summarization. This process is called as what, guys? Data summarization process. This process is called as what? Data summarization process, guys. Okay. So wherein, can see here, I have just simplified all these, guys. So the Azure Databricks here, especially in the Azure, it can perform the process of data migration. It can perform the process of data integration. It can also perform the process of what? Data summarization. Okay, guys. So these are all the tasks done by the Azure Databricks, guys. And when it comes to this Azure Databricks, the Azure Databricks, we are going to see here the Azure Databricks that is called as ADB with the PySpark, guys. With the PySpark, we are going to see the Azure Databricks with the PySpark. So what is this PySpark? PySpark is nothing but basically this is a combination of Python plus a Spark language together. Okay, so hence we are going to see the Azure Databricks coding with the PySpark coding, guys. We are going to see with the PySpark coding. Okay, Azure Databricks with the PySpark coding, we are going to see it here. So using this process, first of all, we will see some scenarios on the data migration. Then we will see the scenario on the data integration, and as well as we will see the process on the data summarization, how it does the same. And once these three are completed, guys, then we are going to see the complete end-to-end project on a ADB. So using the ADB, how do we start the process? Where do we end the process? How the reporting process takes place? All
Hello.
this we are going to see. Yes.
Yeah.
Please tell me. Yes. All this process we are going to, yes, guys, all this process we are going to perform as a part of this session here, guys. Okay. Now tell me, please ask your questions if you
One
have.
second.
Hmm.
Is this ADB providing all the tools to process this transformation loading and all? Or
Not
tool is
exactly
in
the tools, you can say. You will have functions, you will have the
function.
concepts in this.
Libraries are inside PySpark or ADB?
Yes, the
Libraries are in.
libraries will be inside the PySpark, where you require to install it before we move the
So
process.
ADB is the environment.
Yes.
That is cloud Azure's environment for running the PySpark.
Yes, exactly.
So in real time, you will get all these Excel, CSV tables and all. Then what all processing we have to do using this
See,
library, we have
basically
to
for
do it.
every file reading, suppose you have an Excel file. So for reading the Excel file, we require to download some libraries.
Okay.
In the same way, if you wanted to get the data from an XML, some libraries are required. That
Okay.
means
Okay.
supportive, packages are needed to be installed. That I will show you what are the libraries, how
Okay.
do we
So
deal with
the
the
main
libraries.
skill is coding. You have to write programs for doing this or how
Obviously,
configurations.
110% you have to write the coding. There will be no wizard method in the ADB.
Okay. Okay.
You will have to write the complete coding, guys. There will be
Because
no
in pipeline and all, long back I have seen that a lot of drag and drop and connecting connectors and all I have seen. Not in ADB, but
pipelines is a part of ADF, not the ADB.
ADF. Okay, okay. It's not
Pipelines,
related thing, huh?
yeah. This is ADB has a notebook than the
Ah,
pipeline.
okay, okay, fine. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So you will not have the, that is nothing but the pipelines into the ADB. You will have the notebooks into the ADB. The ADB structure looks like this. I will tell you. First of all, you will have the Databricks. In the Databricks, you will have the session like this. The first one, you will have the resource group. Upon the resource group, you will have the workspace. Upon the workspace, you will have the clusters. Upon the cluster, you will have the notebook. Okay, these are all the things you'll have it. This is the structure. So anyways, we will discuss the structure, okay, in the next section. How does exactly work? What is a resource group? What is a workspace? What's a cluster? And what's a notebook? We will discuss it one by one, okay? So, and the duration of this session would be around, okay, guys, this one would be 62, okay, there is nothing but 75 hours. You will have the session, and you will have the daily classes. That is 9 to 10 a.m. would be the preferred. That is nothing but timings we have it. So that's it. Already we have some 6 to 7 students are there. So, which is the existing newly started batch. So we'll be going ahead with that batch only. Okay, whatever the things which are already covered to them, that I will take you up as a backup. Then we will continue as it is 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the regular basis, guys. That is the process actually we have it here. Yeah. Any other questions if you have, you can ask me. Okay. So that's it for the day, guys. Now I'm just ending up the session. We'll just continue tomorrow. The calls are good right now. Okay, for ADB, you have very good calls. You'll get the calls and immediately. Just try to put your CV and check how many things you'll get it. The job market is obviously now it's stable only. Okay, we can't say about the 2025, but right now the market is good. Okay, so you can get it. That's not a problem. Any other questions for me?
Yeah, currently, is there a batch going on at the same time?
Yeah, same. Already started. 3 to 4 classes are already completed. That I will take you as a backup now. Then we'll continue with the same.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So basically, I want to ask for the job I am from application background. So what is the skills they are looking here? Python programming is the interview skills they are looking for?
PySpark code is mandatory.
That is the interviews. They will ask for writing programs in the Python or PySpark.
Generally, they don't ask you to write the programs. They will give you a situation. They will tell you to say how does it works actually.
Okay. How you can process the data, transform the data
Yes,
is
yes.
okay.
And about the pay packages, you will have very good. For 4 years, you can expect 20 plus. If you perform well in the interview, definitely you can get the 20 plus. Okay. Okay, guys. So that's it. Any other questions?
So is it mainly in banking area? The projects are from banking area?
Pardon me?
Banking, is it banking clients? Mainly the projects are executed for banking.
We have various clients, not the specific one. Any domain.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it. Thank you, guys. So we'll continue tomorrow with the same time.